You know, the most frightening thing to me, Judge, is that the black nationalist agenda is it's so anti-establishment, it is ultimately self-destructive. I mean, what you put into a young inner-city kid's head that everything is someone else's fault, that the man is out to get us, that there is this huge conspiracy that the rich white guy is going to keep us down and keep his foot on our neck, and that becomes your preacher's sermon in a context of religion. That's not theology. That's politics of the worst kind. That's hate-mongering. And Barack Obama, it is incumbent on him, because this man played such a big part in his life, to not only disavow him in a very firm way, but also specifically state that he is not, that part of his teaching was something that always rubbed him wrong. Barack Obama has to say that he reduced himself, Preacher Wright did, to a gutter politics and the most inflammatory rhetoric, and I reject him utterly. But it's also a generally held sentiment in the African-American community to the extent that I know it.
Do other preachers preach that sentiment and that vehemence in New York,
let me take a slight detour. Have you ever been to a synagogue, a temple, as I have as a Jewish man, and hear them railing about Israel? And it's the exact flip side of what Wright's doing about the Palestinians. Churches have become an extension of the political dialogue to a distressing extent.
That's part of our history. But my question is, have black churches become anti-American?
I can't answer that. I can't answer that. You can assume that there is a certain amount of rabble rousing. Or I even think that that's the wrong expression. If your constituency is disadvantaged in a profound way, you can obviously presume that the tone of the conversation is less hopeful than it is in more affluent congregations.
And you just wonder too, Michelle Obama's statements, which have been tucked away, and people thought, well, it's just a misstatement, poor phraseology, of her saying that, I'm finally proud to be an American. She's from that church, too. She knows him, too. I mean, they've breasted her kids, too. But that is the sentiment, that this guy clearly is not happy being an American.
I tell you what, the tragedy to me is watching Barack Obama in the last couple of weeks, ever since that Saturday Night Live skit. I'm telling you, it all traces back to that. Can I get you a pillow, Barack? What I have, in my personal belief, the spark has left the eye of Barack Obama. That magical something has been dulled by the dialogue and the level of discourse and the intensity and vehemence of this contest. They have succeeded, I think, in dampening that incredible spirit. Hagee, is that his name? The guy from Texas, the Texas church, who said that Catholics were the gutter religion or the devil's spawn or some equally obnoxious thing. Ironically, however vile and reprehensible, and should be condemned as vile and reprehensible, Hagee's statements are, they do arguably fall within the elastic containing of theology. You can put them into theology, however perverse the theology happens to be. But Wright's statements clearly are not in the theological mold. They are in the political realm, and therefore they have to be disavowed as a politician is disavowed, not as a clergyman is disavowed.
Now, with your Hillary Clinton, this is now out. All the networks are playing it. How do you handle this?
Well, let me just say, Brian, that I believe that the Democrats have done the nearly impossible.
Which is?
They have, coming off 7 years of an administration that has failed in every area objectively viewed, and I still back the president in Iraq, but Iraq was an optional war. The economy's tanking. He's had a very unsuccessful presidency, and yet I am utterly convinced as we sit here this morning that the Republicans will retain the White House, that the Democrats have inflicted upon themselves, admittedly it's early and it's 8 months to go, but the profound wounds, the grievous injuries that Clinton and Obama have inflicted on the other will be very, very difficult to mend.
Is our mutual friend and colleague Geraldine Ferraro or that type of statement in part responsible for that?
I totally believe that is another example. Excuse me, there are 10 of them probably. And our dear friend Geraldine, by saying something like that, even if she believed it, I don't know why in the world did she have to share that with so many people? And what's the point that she makes? It's just if she wants to say he's basing his career on a speech in 2002, that's enough of a jab. But then to say that if he wasn't black, he wouldn't be where he is today.
And now really... Mark Penn says he can't win the general election. Let's go to the phones. Phoenix, Arizona. Scott, you're on Brian and the Judge. Say hello to Geraldo.
The Reverend, his teachings purportedly sound the same as what we hear about being taught in madrasas in the Middle East. So wouldn't this be the same, and I'm going to ask for your gentleman's opinion, as attending a madrasa for the last 20 years?
Well, I've been to madrasas, and I've been to madrasas in Indonesia specifically.
But you don't know what they're saying.
I know enough what they're saying. There are signs that say, I swear to God, I went to a madras in Java, in the big island in Indonesia. There was the sign that said, in English, jihad, why not? I swear to God, I always
they were selling a piece of fruit.
We actually
Coke is it.
Greg Hart, my longtime producer, took a picture of us standing underneath that sign. It was so jihad. Why not?
Not a reality show, but a reality slap.
Brian and the Judge.